Welcome back to Badass Conjure, my people. Thank you for your patience. I'm really split within myself about bringing forth this message. There has been a lot of obstruction, uh, trying to keep me from bringing forth this message. So I've been very physically and emotionally drained over these last few days since I actually stated the intent and decided to bring forth the message. And but here I am to bring forth the message. Okay, so thank you all for showing up. What's up, Lady Witch and Vashante? And we will begin momentarily. Much love in return, you guys. So my last video was actually posted in my private group, the the No Narc Network, and I was also split about bringing forth that message. Okay, because within myself, I was not completely at peace with the message that I was receiving. Okay, so I do understand the message now, and I've always understood what my role here is. Okay, so I'm going to and excuse me, you guys, if you hear the door open. Give me just a minute because I think I hear my husband pulling up. Just a minute, so I can make sure you don't interrupt my live. Okay, so you guys, if any, okay, I think this is. Do I hear him coming in the damn door? Well, anyway, if you guys hear the door open, and yes, we are live, Rising Aquarius. Angela, thank you everybody who's in the chat. My wrench gang is in the building. So if you hear my door open and close, just ignore it, okay? So anyway, so in the group, in my private group, I told the long-suffering story, and it was basically the story of my grandparents. Okay, and I'm not going to reiterate the entire story, but if you are interested in the entire story, and you may be after we get done with what this particular video is about, but if you're in the if level 2 group of the No Narc Network, which is on Oshun Ajay exclusive, then you've probably seen the long suffering video. Okay. But basically, the video was because I was struggling with the long suffering as being a fruit of the spirit. Okay, and again, I'm not religious, and I do not consider myself a Christian. But I do know that there is much truth in the Bible. It requires discernment, okay, in order to be able to pick the meat and leave the bones from any religious text, okay? So the long suffering, I was struggling with it. And I also had been, going to my ancestor altar because I know that to me, my grandmother's life was the perfect example of what would be long suffering. Okay. So basically, my grandmother was a very small, petite woman, okay, because my grandmother's lineage is part Korean, okay, so they're very small, petite women. So my mother was a very, tiny, very gentle natured, very empathic woman, okay, but very, very strong at the same time. Okay, her last name is literally Strong. Her maiden last name is Strong. Okay. And my grandfather was a very strong, domineering Black man, okay, whose lineage is also Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian, but they're just Black people, okay? When I look at my grandparents, they're Black people, but I'm telling you their lineage so that you understand the relationship here, okay? Basically, my grandmother was, again, a very strong empath, and my grandfather was a narcissist. Okay. So basically, and they stayed together their entire lives. They had 13 children who also reared children of their own, who reared children of their own, of which I am one. Okay, so basically, all of they stayed together until they died. Okay, so I knew instinctively, again, we had the gifts that were passed down come from both sides of my bloodline. Okay, so all my life I knew. I mean, from the dysfunctions that I see in some of my uncles and aunts, and even in my own parents, um, the dysfunctions that I see in my family, the stories that I have heard, and just what I see in the spirits of my grandparents. I was not around during them, during that when they were young and going through the issues that a lot of narcissistic abuse victims go through. Today, because at that time the women who were going through this, and I'm not just saying women, because again, there are narcissistic women as well. Okay, but I'm speaking from this perspective because this is the way that it was given to me. And there was no word, there was no name for this, there was no definition, there was no support for this type of behavior and this type of abuse, yet women were still suffering it. Okay, and during that time, again, they had 13 children. They stayed together their entire lives. So imagine if you are a narc abuse victim in no matter what capacity. Okay, because again, they had 13 children along with this relationship. Okay, and at the very end of this is when I remember of my grandparents. But imagining going through these years of this narcissistic, emotional, physical, psychological abuse for I can't even count the years. Okay, let's just say forever. Okay, until they died. This was their life. I remember my grandparents when I was a little bit older, so I wasn't around. They were older from when I remember them. Now, what I do remember of my grandparents when I was young was that my grandmother would take me to church with her, and this was from about age 2 until about age 4. Okay, and she would take me to church with her, and I was the only grandchild, and this is why I have a very special and always did have a very special connection with my grandmother, who was also an empath. Okay, and she knew that, I guess instinctively, that I was an empath. She didn't have a word for it. She was just who she was. Okay. But she would take me to church with her, and me being young, not really understanding anything, but feeling everything. I never saw any abuse or anything between my grandparents because, of course, I was shielded from it. But I would feel the energy. And when she would take me to church with her, she would always cry. And as a young girl, I always would wonder, why does she keep coming here if it makes her cry? Okay. And again, so me remembering my grandparents when I was older, and they had both gotten older. Okay, and had gone through a lifetime of troubles. By the end of their lives, my grandmother was basically still very strong, still walking around, getting around, doing for herself. And my grandfather was still also very strong in his spirit. Okay, but this is what I want you guys to understand. But first of all, he was still very strong in the spirit. But my grandfather was in a wheelchair. He had one of his legs had been amputated. He looked very mean, but his spirit had been tamed. Okay, and it was there. Okay, so understand this. My grandfather had been a narcissist, and we have to understand that with a narcissist, and if you've been with one, if you've lived with one in whatever capacity, the devil has their mind. Okay, and this is the problem: the devil has their mind. In the group, I'm going to teach you exactly how the devil got their mind, and some other things that we're going to do to it, and this is why I'm making this video, because I really want to make the distinction between there are different types of empaths, okay, and with different missions, okay. But this is what I want to let you guys know. At the very end of my grandparents' lives, again, my grandmother was still up, getting around, doing. You can tell she had been through everything, but she was still very strong woman, very strong Black woman, like a lot of our grandmothers, okay? And so was my grandfather, but you could tell that he had been through, literally through hell, okay? Again, he had lost a leg, and this was in a spiritual war, and I need you guys to understand this, okay? The devil had his mind for a large portion of his life, and what I understood was my grandmother's mission in his life. I'm not really going to divulge here, but what I'm going to let you guys know now, the full story and the mission is it has been told on the first long suffering video, which is um, on Oshun Ajay exclusive, okay, in the No Narc network. So if you wish to hear the story, and not just to be nosy, but because you may relate to it or may know someone who relates to it. The point of the story is that my grandmother was a very, strong empath with a very gentle spirit, who stayed with a very diabolical narcissist for their entire lives, okay? And the outcome at the end of it, okay, is what you would really want to hear, and that is, and why she stayed, how she was able to stay, okay, and the mission that I realized about her life, because I told you guys that I was at the foot of my grandmother's bed when she was passing over, and she was trying to communicate something to me, because again, all of my life, my grandmother and I have had a very special connection, because we were, again, two of the empathic people in the family, and she recognized me as being, empathic before we ever knew what it was. But she was always the one that, allowed me to, let me know that she understood, okay. And so she was trying to communicate something to me as she was passing over. And the experience at the time, because I was young, was so intense that I backed away from it, and I did not get the message, okay? But I did know that all of my life the message would come, okay? So I have the message, and I have kind of revealed the message in the first long suffering video. Okay. So what I want you guys to know is that that particular message and that particular mission is for a specific type of empath. Okay. For most empaths, if you are with a narcissist and this person is damaging you and hurting you, and you see that they are in this continuous loop of a repeating cycle of being able to maintain good behavior, and then reverting right back to the same exact behavior that they may have hoovered you in by apologizing for. And they keep erasing all of that and going back over and over that cycle. You have to get out of this situation, because these people are beyond where even you are able to help them, okay? There is a name for this cycle, okay? And I'm not even going to go into it right now, but what I'm being shown and what I'm understanding is these empaths, these very gentle spirited empaths, you can be broken mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, and at the end of the day, it's not going to be worth it, okay? But there is let me relate this back to who I am in my spirit, and what my particular mission is, and what the message is that my grandmother was trying to give me, okay? My grandmother, like I said, was a very special, super empath. And as you know, as we reproduce and we reincarnate and we go down through the generations, um, each new incarnation of a person is an upgrade. It's a better version. Okay. So, your car's model 10 years ago doesn't look like the model now. The new model is always going to be new. It's going to have more bells and whistles. There's been more knowledge. Okay. So basically what my grandmother was doing was passing that mantle down to me, and I literally felt it once I realized what it was. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, because especially for those of you who listened to that, because the reason why I was split about bringing that message was because I would never want to mislead um, the empath into believing that it is your mission to stay with these demons. Okay, because this is what they are. Unfortunately, I know that there is a person in there that you love, and you may love very much because it's what you do, it's who you are. But understand that there is a part of that person that does not love you, okay? That takes over, that the part of the person that you do love cannot control. Okay, so your life is in danger. Okay, so I am not at all advising any of you guys to stay in relationships or to stay connected with these people. The message that my grandmother was giving me was to not do it the way that she did it. Okay, because I am the new improved version of my mother. Okay, so let me explain to you guys, because I know that you know that I have been alluding to the stars being angels, and they are. Okay, and I've also been alluding to empaths being angels, and you are. Okay, so let me make this connection for you guys. So do you know what when a star has run its course on a certain path in life, okay, and it has done what it was supposed to, all that it could do on that particular level in that particular dimension, that star dies in that dimension, which means there's a certain type of empath, a certain type of star, a certain type of angel who will go to such to who will accept such a level of pain that a part of that empath dies. Okay, but like a phoenix from the ashes, a new star, a new improved star. So relate this to my grandmother being that first star, okay, who gave all she did, and she did a very sacred mission. So I advise you guys to go listen to the first long suffering video, okay? But I want you to understand that I am the star that rose from the ashes of my grandmother, okay, sacrificing her life from that star that died, rose a supernova. So I want you to understand what a supernova is. It's a whole new improved star. So there is a certain type of empath, a certain type of star, a certain type of angel who is to go in and do the mission that I told y'all about in the first long suffering video. Okay? And you must know, if you are this, you know, because you go down, you take that pain. It's a level of pain that you know not any human being would be able to be able to live through. A lot of regular empaths, and I'm not at all making a difference. There is just a difference in the mission. Okay, a lot of regular empaths are in mental hospitals and have been irreparably damaged psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. But the supernova, my grandmother gave me all of her strength and then some. Because see, you have to understand. If you understand about my grandmother and my grandfather, okay, my grandmother was a super empath. And if you understood her mission, which you would if you go and hear the first long suffering video, and my grandfather was a diabolical narcissist, and I am the offspring of both of them, and I got both of them in me. Okay, so as a supernova empath, I have a different mission, and there are those of you who have a different this mission, but this mission is not for every empath. The regular empath, the way that you will heal your narc is to walk away, because your narc is irreparable. They are beyond even your help. So you have to walk away, because the only thing that could ever affect your narc is for them to lose you. They have to lose you. They can't have the illusion of losing you where you leave for a week and come back. They can't have the threats, the drama. None of that matters. They have to actually lose you. That is your challenge. Walk away, go no contact, and do not look back. But the supernova, and please understand who you are. And I know that you know who you are. And there's one of you in my No Narc network that I see you, and I know that you know who you are, and I will be gathering you guys from the group. And please do not think that I'm making a difference in importance, but there is a difference in mission here. For the supernova, you have a very important and sacred mission, and it is a mission that you have to decide and choose whether you want to go forth with it. But my message from my grandmother was, don't do it my way. Take what I gave you and what you know, and you do it better. You do it better. You don't spend your whole entire life accomplishing the mission that she did accomplish. But see, now we're stronger, we're better, we're wiser, because as our ancestors pass over and they drape that mantle across our heads, they give us all of their power. Okay, so a supernova empath has all of the power of the super empath and all of the power of the diabolical narcissist, and we can vibrate at whatever level we need to vibrate in. And yet our mission is still rooted in the will of the Most High. If you're a supernova, you know who you are, and I invite you, I encourage you to join us in the No Narc Network so we can speak more about our mission. And for all of the empaths who have joined the No Narc Network, I send you love, light, and the shade from the heavens, from the celestial realms. Let us be here for one another. Let us be there for who we have come to save. Understand that 98% of the world is narcissistic in nature. Let it sink all the way in so you know that there are very few people that you can trust, and yet do not be paranoid. Do not move forth in fear. Do not refuse to move because of fear. Understand that fear is not of the Most High, and it has no substance unless you give it the substance that you have been blessed with. The Most High has told you to fear not. And if you fear not, you will go forward. You will complete your mission here. You will begin to understand on a deeper level your mission here. You will begin to understand that every day of your life, you have been preparing for your mission here. Supernova. I invite you to join me in the No Narc Network. The time for which you were born has come, and you have been prepared. And yet it is still your choice and your decision in this realm if you should go forth. But it is your nature to meet me at the meeting place. I'm going to read some of your comments, you guys, because I'm just now opening my eyes. Okay. Trish, what's up, baby? Much love to you. Rose Little, you are a supernova. Know this, my sister. You are a supernova. Trish, you are a supernova. Thank you all for coming. I know that you who are going to join me will join me in the network. It's more than a network, it is a movement rooted in the will of the Most High. If you know who you are, I will meet you there. Angela, you are a supernova. You are a supernova. You already knew that. Angela, you are more super than you even know, my love. The spirits are very, very attracted to you and very protective of you. Understand that. I would like to speak so much more intimately with my supernovas and with my empaths in the group. There's so much more that I would like to say, but again, let it sink in, my people. The world, I'm telling you, I'm not just saying, I'm just not just speaking from the finite mind of the being that I'm speaking through at the moment. I'm speaking the truth through you guys, to you guys, okay? 98% of the world is narcissistic in nature, okay? And even I myself thought that it wasn't that much, but it is, okay? So understand that. Be very discerning. Be very discerning and trust your intuition and move when your spirit tells you to move. Also be very observant of the ways in which that others move. I'm not talking about in the future, I'm talking about right now. See, those of us who have already been awoke and awakened, we have already been in the trenches. We have already been fighting this fight. We're already fighting the fight. So there is no more time, y'all, to be putting stuff in the future. The future is now. Time has come today. Rose Little, thank you for your energy. I want y'all to research the little star. Angela, that's a good thing. You should take that as a compliment. Most of our families have, again, a lot of angelic beings were born, and I'm not, coming talking about, trying to be egotistical in any way, but you know what your mission is. Again, you know who you are. You know that you love like no other, and it's genuine. You don't fear meeting your creator because he knows you know your heart. See, most people, they fear meeting their creator because he knows he knows that he knows their heart. And for the empath, that is the very thing that brings us peace. And so you know who you are. It is time for you to be who you are. You are needed in this war. Okay? Rose Little has said the other day, empaths are here to balance out heaven. And yes, empaths are here to balance out hell. And it is so true. You are needed to hold your light. Okay? And the way that you empath are going to give that that narc what they need is to walk away from them. That is the only thing that's going to affect them. You can try to act like you done committed suicide. You can go to the hospital. You can sign yourself into the mental ward. You can get pregnant. You can do all of those things that you do to try to elicit some emotion from your demon. And it's not going to work. I know that you've already tried it. The only thing, if you love that person, if you really want to do the only thing that you can do to help them, start planning your escape, because they have to lose. They have to experience losing you, unfortunately. And it's maybe the hardest thing you have to do, but you have to do it. And guess what? There's life after slaying the narcissist. For my supernovas, please join me in the No Narc Network for the mission that you have been assigned to do. Because, see, you have been here before. You have fought this fight before. You have gone beyond this point before. You have knowledge in your DNA that has qualified you for a very sacred, but a very, very difficult mission. But it is time to decide. And there is no obligation. There is only love. It is time for you to prove who and what you are. It's time for you to know thyself. See, knowing is more than a cognitive experience. It's an experience that is experienced on every level and in every emotion and sense that you possess. Supernova. You can research it scientifically, spiritually, and whatever other level you want to research it on, because it is who you are. Stardust. See, you contain the wisdom and the power of that which has already walked through the valley of the shadow of death. And this is why you fear no evil. No? Correct me if I'm wrong. I want you to remember yourself. I want y'all to join me, because there is so much. There are so many tools that you can use along your way, because, baby, you came to slay. You came to slay. And again, your mission is rooted in the will of the Most High, but not of the God that they selling in the churches. Not at all. The will of the one who sits at your very core and who is driving you to go save his people. See, God wants them back. Even though y'all don't want them, nobody else wants them. The Most High, He wants them back. So the ones whose light has shriveled down to that of a mustard seed. Not their faith is gone, honey. Their light, the smallest little piece of them that's still a part of the Most High. Nobody can save them. Nobody can save them. Except that one who has already died and been reborn and been renewed and been remembered. So you have to make a decision, Supernova. You know who you are. When it's too much for you, Empath, when everything in your life is telling you that there is nothing more that you can do and you begin to lose yourself, your mission is to walk away and don't look back. And yes, it's hard. It sounds like something that would be simple to do, but it's so much easier said than done. I understand, but this is what you must do ultimately. So begin to plan your escape. Okay, you have suffered long enough, and there are others that you can heal with your love, and you need to be replenished. What I understood about my grandmother, why she would always go to the church and why she would cry, I understood now what she was doing because she was able to do it. Okay, she was able to take all of that dark, negative, demonic energy, and she was able to give it back to source. And it almost killed her, and it will kill most of y'all. But see, the Supernova, you know who you are. No matter what the hell happens, you bounce back. You can't take it. You can't just let it go. You can't let it fly. And I'm not talking about moving out of anger, but if it appears as anger, it's that very righteous anger. Because it ain't your anger, it's the anger of the Most High. See, the Most High hates lies and liars and that which is not true. But the empaths, you all have a different mission, and I need you to realize what your mission is, and I need you to do what it is you came here to do. Quit playing around. Quit hurting yourself by trying to make something real with this person who has purged themselves of anything that could connect with you. Stop hurting yourself. Stop it. Join us in the No Narc Network. Let us all talk about it. Let's support one another. See, you need to be replenished, or you're going to completely lose yourself. You're losing yourself as we speak. Stop it. Stop being drawn back in and feeling like it's different, because see, they're catching you up in their loop. Okay, they're catching you up in their loop of hypnotic repetition that they're caught in, and repetition is hell, and we're gonna go deeper into it. Okay, because I've been giving a deeper understanding of what's going on. Those of you who keep repeating that same pattern of thinking everything is cool, and then all of a sudden they go crazy on you again, that's indication of them being at a level where they're beyond your help, baby. The devil has their mind. So cry for them last 10 times, but do not go back into that loop. Do not be caught in that loop with them. They are beyond your help. What you do is pray for them to whatever source that you call your God. and walk away, because there are others that you can save. Don't lose yourself on one because you did what you were supposed to do. Now let that other teacher come in and finish it off. But there will also be those who will not be able to be rescued. There are some who are irreparable. The supernova has come to get the ones who only have maybe a 0.5% of something that they could connect with to pull them out of hell. Okay? And only the supernova can do it. So understand who you are. Prepare yourself, armor yourself, and do not fool yourself into believing that you are a supernova. And this is why I did not want to bring forth the message. So all the rest of my messages for the supernova will be in the No Narc network, because if you know that this is who you are, you will show up. But I wanted to clarify for the beautiful, powerful, gentle, loving empaths who have absolutely no understanding, and you won't get it, of a diabolical narc. Walk away. That is your mission. That is the only thing you can do to affect in any positive way these people. I'm reading your comments, guys. Rose, girl, I know you. You had to have been to hell and back to be able to do this job. And when I got dipped into hell, I knew there was a reason for it. And I said, I never wanted to go back there. I knew you had been there. I know who you are. You are a supernova, my sister. This is why I asked you to join, and I'm glad that you are here. Thank you for your energy. I have been to hell and back, but when you went, you got dipped down in there. You didn't have to stay. There was a reason why you were there, honey. There was a reason. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. And there will be others. So I hope that, and we're going to talk more about it in the group, especially about the supernova empath, the super empath. The Native Americans refer to us as the Hyoka empath. Okay, you have a very sacred mission. It is the point, the reason for your life. Okay. So imagine a fire, because I've seen the fire. I've seen it. And the people can't get out because they refused. They refused to repent when they had so many opportunities. And imagine that there were some who had a very little bit of peace, something in them. I don't know. But the Most High wanted them back and sent a couple of y'all to say, go get them back, go get them. I want them back, go get them. That's how much I love them. They sorry for real, go get them. Now, this is not going to be pretty. It ain't like you're flying down in there and just going to get them. Oh, they're going to beat your ass. Because, see, they're fighting you. They don't trust you. They're filled with hate. See, these people was damn near damned to hell. So they're a demon just like all the rest of them. They're the worst ones. They're the worst ones. So how great is your love? Okay, because the Most High's love is so great that even though they the worst motherfuckers on the planet, the Most High wants them back because they belong to Him. At the very last minute, they had that little bit of remembrance. of what the hell they were supposed to be here doing. They had that little bit of remorse, something that could be taken and turned and transmuted into the mission of the Most High. And he say, I want them back. Now, who's willing to go get them? And I'm not challenging. Like I said, if you feel that you are dying inside, empath, it's not your mission, baby. See, I've died 1,000 times and I've popped my ass right the hell back up. You see, they can't kill me. I told y'all I defeated the devil probably before that, but at 10 years old. See, when you're a supernova, the devil has been stalking you your whole life, not just this one, the life of your soul, because he just don't understand why every time he get close to you, his ass disappears. Okay? I've been here many times, so I don't fear death. It's a transition. And if you have not yet learned how to take that energy like my grandmother was doing and taking it back to the source to be transmuted and coming right on back for some more, because devil, you ain't gonna take me down. Okay, I do not break, honey. I may snap, but I bounce right the hell back. Okay, you ain't gonna take me down, and you're not gonna take down anybody that I've been sent to damn save, period. But understand, y'all, that we are at war. Okay, so those of us who have all the empaths, you are at war. Okay, so save yourself and quit trying to love your enemy. Quit trying to love your opponent. I know you don't want them to be your opponent, but they made you your opponent. They made you their opponent because they see you as that. Okay, everything ain't love and light. See, my grandfather was a diabolical narcissist, and my grandmother was a super empath. And I'm both of them. So I'm going to be whatever the situation requires. And I don't mind dying in the war, because see, I'll be right back. You can't kill me. I know what I am. I know who I am. We've already died before. What else you got? So I slay demons. That's why I've told y'all, quit fearing witches, because y'all gonna need us. Y'all gonna need us when that bird box come through and start inhabiting bodies. Okay? For those of you who have not seen Bird Box, that's that energy that they released. Okay? And when they begin inhabiting bodies, which they already in bodies, okay? You're gonna wish you knew a person like me. But it's okay, because we got you. We got you anyway. But I did not want to confuse the message, because there are different types of empaths with different missions. An empath who has been drawn in by this deception of this person being something that they keep showing you that they are not, your mission is to leave them, for them to experience loss, to lose you, and not to come back. Because if you come back, you ain't finished the mission. They have to lose. Okay? And keep going forth with your life. There are other plateaus that you can reach. There are so many other pleasures that you can have once you do what you need to do with this narc and keep it moving in your life. Okay? And we will continue to talk about it in the No Narc Network. We will be doing some guided meditations and some relieving stress and anxiety exercises in the No Narc Network, because I know that we all suffer from it, because this ain't your world. This is not your world. And for some of you, it has become so real that it's hard to get outside of it. And for the supernovas, we will be talking on level 2 about your mission and how to complete it and how to completely understand your enemy, because I do. I do. Okay? And we will defeat the enemy. We will defeat the enemy because I've already seen it. I've already seen the end and the beginning. And I'm just doing my job, y'all. And I need y'all to wake up and do yours. I'm sending you all love and light and all of the shade that you can receive. Because I feel yours and may it be returned 100-fold. Yeah, so I was reading the comments, you guys, but I do invite you to join me. And again, the only reason we've gone private is because you don't want to give the enemy any ammunition to use against you because they see you as weak. Okay, they see you as weak, and this is where they get shocked by the supernova because they think you done went down. And then when you rise up out of those ashes, okay, and you start mirroring themselves, okay, there's another reason why I was born as the spirit of the river who transforms. Oshun, okay? Oshun Ajay, Oshun the witch, Oshun the mirror. See, y'all don't understand the mirror because that is exactly what a narc needs. Okay? They need a mirror and they need a witch to keep them from running away from that mirror because I done bound your ass and you gonna look in it. You're going to see yourself. Okay? You're going to see yourself because see, that's all they need. That's what they've been running from their entire lives. They project it onto you, but when they project it onto a mirror, all they get back is more of themselves. This is what a supernova knows how to do, and this is why my mirror is so magical. No one can heal a narc. Not if they ain't got no magic, not if they're not a mirror. You understand the power of mirroring a narc and why Oshun Ajay has a magic mirror and also knows how to bind someone to that mirror so that they cannot run. Narcs are cowards. I told y'all they are beyond human help, and so sometimes you have to call in whoever you have to call in and handle that. Handle that. But it's all about a mirror. It's all about a mirror, honey. They need to see themselves because that's why they project. That's why they blame shift. That's why they have a false persona. They need to see themselves and they need a mirror that they cannot turn away from. And they cannot turn away from the spirit of the river in which the narcissist was looking in when he fell in love with himself. They can't turn away from that. So when you understand that the power of the Most High is sovereign, you have to understand that there is nothing that the Most High cannot fix. Nothing. Those who are not being fixed have chosen not to be fixed. Period. And this is why we're not going to worry about them as we rise and as they burn. And those who are caught in that loop of hypnotic repetition. And yes, it's the pattern that your narc keeps taking you through. They're stuck. They're that little man on the motorcycle that I saw in my dream burning, just going around in circles. That's what you're doing. That's what they got you doing. So, empath, I invite you to walk away because your path is not in a circle. Your path is not going nowhere unless you continue to ride as a passenger on the bike of that diabolical narc, because the devil has their mind. Supernova, I invite you to rise up if in fact your spirit is telling you to do so, and join me in the No Narc Network so we can get to work. You heard me? So I'm going to go, you guys. I wanted to come and I wanted to clarify that there are different types of narcissists, why and how I became the type of narcissist that I am. This is why y'all see me sometimes and I'm gentle and I'm sweet, and sometimes I'm snapping and I'm turned, because I'm my grandmother and my grandfather. I'm gonna be whatever the situation requires, and I do not lose and I do not break. I face demons face to face, dead in their eye, and I tell them what to do, because you do not have dominion. You do not have power. I know you. Okay? You ain't shit. This is why you fool people. This is the only thing that they can do, is deceive people. I learned that a long time ago. But we'll go into that in the group, y'all. But you have to learn how to deal with these people. But first, you must know your enemy. You think that it's all, it is, they get into you as a child, sometimes, but not all the time. When your mind is idle and you ain't doing nothing, when your mind is just sitting there and it's empty of anything beneficial or anything that, is of any significance, it's an empty vessel and it's open. So yes, a lot of things happen in childhood where you dissociate, so you're not in there. So something else slipped up in there. There's a lot of other things, other ways. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. But I want to point it out to you because it's really not important how. I guess it's important how it got in there to keep it from happening to others. But at this point, for those of you who are already dealing with it being in there, I just want to explain to you how it got there and exactly the ways in which it's operating, the way it's moving in your life. Okay, so that you can develop strategies so that you are not being the one taken down. Okay, so I think I've said enough for the night. I may go into the network. And by the way, I am live on Patreon right now, you guys, and I am live on Badass Witch exclusive as well. Shout out to No Narc Network TV on YouTube. Okay, I invite you all to join us in the private No Narc Network on Oshun Ajay exclusive. All of that information will be under the video. Thank you to the ones who have already joined. And if you feel led to join, if you have questions, comments, and or needs, you can contact me at badasswitches@gmail.com. And if it's pertaining to the No Narc Network, contact me at goddess111@gmail.com. I'm sending you all love and light. And until we meet again, my people, keep it classy, keep it clean. Keep the narcs out of your psyche, out of your mind, and out of your emotions. And do what you gotta do to make shit happen. To the supernovas in the group, join me in the No Narc Network. Peace.